Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Pagani Design PD-1617, homage to the TAG Heuer Aquaracer. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing my harness with the palm dial, and Gregor's wearing a Ben Nevis homage to the Omega Seamaster. Gregor's wearing his Ben Nevis because he's Ben Nevis about the missing of the timepiece gentleman. He has a watch consignment with them. So he hired Boba Fett to track down Anthony and Marco. He hopes he brings them back encased in carbonite. Here's the watch. This is an homage to a TAG Heuer Aquaracer, which is kind of unusual. Pagani Design usually sticks to Rolexes and Tudors or Omegas. They really don't make an homage to a TAG Heuer. In fact, most of the AliExpress homage companies don't make TAG Heuer homages. Maybe an occasional Monaco or Formula One, but you hardly ever see an Aquaracer looking thing. So that's why I grabbed this. I really kind of thought that was interesting. I got the green colorway, and I'm glad I did, because once I got it, it really looks different than in the pictures. Because in the pictures, it looked more like a Rolex Hulk color, but if you look at it here, it's more of an emerald color, and I really like the emerald color. They also have a blue and a black colorway. Of course, I can't buy them all, so I had to choose one. Unfortunately for Pagani Design, TAG Heuer just updated the Aquaracer. So the new Aquaracers have the date at the 6 o'clock instead of the 3 o'clock. They also have a coin edge on the bezel, and they have a really nice clasp, a fully adjustable clasp now that this one does not have. But it still looks a lot like an Aquaracer, so you're not going to mistake what kind of watch it's supposed to be. This is a fairly big and heavy watch. It's 44.2 millimeters at the bezel if you measure it on the edges where they have this little nib here. It's 49.8 millimeters lug to lug, 14.5 millimeters thick if you don't measure at the Cyclops. I didn't bother measuring at the Cyclops. And it's got a 22 millimeter lug width, and it tapers down to 19 millimeters at the clasp. And it weighs 171 grams with 4 links removed. It has a 90-click unidirectional bezel with a dodecagon shape, which is a 12-sided. And this is kind of unique to the TAG Heuer Aquaracer. You don't really see other watches with this design. And once again, it's 90-click. Why 90-click? A lot of these Pagani designs are 90-click, and it really doesn't make sense. Maybe it's cheaper in the manufacturing process. I don't know. But there's 60 minutes in an hour, so it makes much more sense to have a 60-click or 120-click. It's a ceramic insert with nice big engraved numbers and minute markers. And it actually has a Lume pip. And the action is nice. Very little back play. I mean, a little bit, but not very much. I've definitely seen a lot worse. The dial has these horizontal stripes with a nice sunburst effect. Kind of hard to see with my camera because of the light reflecting off the crystal. It has applied fully lumed indices. And if you look at the 6, 9, and the 12, they're kind of split down the middle. And it kind of matches the short index at the 3 where the date is. The dial is pretty uncluttered. It's just got the Pagani Design writing and logo. And on the bottom, all it says is automatic. It doesn't give a depth rating. The depth rating is 100 meters, which is fairly standard for Pagani Design dive style watches. Once again, this is a dive style watch, not an actual diver watch. It is not ISO 6425 certified. And once again, only 100 meters of water resistance. The hands look like the Aquaracer previous model, where they're split, kind of like the indices are. And the second hand has this trapezoid end with a yellow border, which is very Aquaracer like. It has an NH35 movement, which is the basic workhorse movement of these AliExpress budget watches. I'm not going to do a time grapher on it because NH35s and 36s are fairly consistent, but not consistent enough where if I measure one watch, it's going to tell you how good the watch you get is going to be. It's just, there's not much point of it. It's an NH35. It's going to be fairly close, fairly accurate, but position of the watch and whether or not you wear the watch really matters. It has an unframed date window with a Cyclops. The Cyclops does a decent amount of magnification, and at least it's centered. It has a flat sapphire crystal, and it does a pretty good job of not reflecting the light. You can see through it fairly good. The case is a brushed stainless steel with polished edges, brushed everywhere else. If you look at the bottom there, it's all brushed. And the signed screw down crown has some pretty good crown guards there. And the crown action is pretty good when you unscrew it and screw it back in. It screws in nice. The case back is a solid steel screw down case back. And unlike most Pagani designs, it is not a display case back. And I'm glad. I think most of these dial style watches do not need a display case back. I prefer the solid case back. Plus, you've seen one NH35, 36, you've seen them all. Plus, Pagani Design doesn't do a very good job decorating their movements. Their rotors are very plain, so why bother showing them off? The bracelet has solid end links. And the end links are inverted, which helps such a big watch be wearable for smaller wrists. Unfortunately, though, if you look right here, there seems to be a real serious alignment issue where the bracelet attaches to the end links. Looks like they could have moved the holes up more, and then it would have aligned a lot better. And it's very noticeable. The fully brushed solid link bracelet is actually a true 3-link, see? So it's not a single link that looks like a 3-link, it's an actual 3-link bracelet. It has push pin adjusters, not screw pin adjusters, but that's fine. They come out fairly easy and stay in. The clasp is a fully milled clasp, but it has no microadjust. As you can see, it kind of resembles a butterfly clasp when it's closed. And it has the Pagani Design logo. Unfortunately, the lack of microadjust becomes problematic with such a big, heavy watch. Because when a watch is this heavy, the perfect fit becomes much more important. I initially removed 3 links to fit on my 7.5 wrist. But the watch was just too loose, and I wish I could have tightened it just with one little micro adjust. Not sure why they took this approach, because the actual TAG Heuer Aquaracer, well, at least the previous model that it's homaging, had a more traditional clasp with micro adjusts. The new one has a clasp where you can adjust it without tools. I got sick of the watch just flopping around on my wrist, so I went ahead and removed the 4th link, and I found that I preferred it to be a hair tight rather than a hair loose. But it was leaving some marks in my wrist. I was hoping that after I wore it for a while, maybe it would stretch a little. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. As you can see, it's just too tight right now, but if I remove a link, it's too loose and it just flops around. I really wish they would have put a micro adjust in it. Here's the watch on a green NATO strap. Goes well with that green. Here it is on a vintage leather strap. I think the green and the brown of the strap go together very well. And here it is on a khaki native strap. Just showing you that you have lots of options if you can't get a good fit with the bracelet due to lack of microadjust. Here we are in the Lume room. I'm not going to do a side-by-side comparison because Pagani Design is pretty consistent on their Lume quality. So let's just give it a single go. Give it a little charge here. Once again, it would be nicer to be able to do it without charging it to give you a true indication of what the Lume is like, but my camera will just not pick up even good Lume such as my Seiko and Heimdallr. Alright, there's the Lume. As you can see, the hand index and the Lume pip and the small parts of the 369 are a green color, and then the other indexes are a blue color. And looks like the Lume pip is really glowing good, and the green of the hands and the 3, 6, and 9 are pretty good, but the blue of the indexes is fading fairly quickly. So it looks like it has decent but not spectacular Lume. Pretty standard for a Pagani Design. What do I like about this watch? Well, they really nailed the look of a TAG Heuer Aquaracer. It's a pretty good homage. The construction is really good too. The case is solidly built, and I love this case back. Plus, I love the emerald color of this green colorway. It looks really nice and sharp. And I like the fact it's a true 3-link bracelet and not a pretend single link. Overall, this is a really nice watch. What are my gripes and groans? Well, the end links. Where the bracelet attaches the end links, it's just way too low there. So it makes a pretty noticeable gap there. And why a 90-click bezel Pagani Design? I mean, it just doesn't make sense logistically. And no micro adjust in the clasp is really annoying. I really wish they would have put a more traditional clasp with micro adjust. I really don't know why they did this. Once again, the TAG Heuer, its homaging, does not have a clasp like this. So why did they do this? I don't know. Do I recommend this watch? Yes. Even if you have to wear it a bit tight or a bit loose, this watch is cool enough to put up with the sizing issues. It looks great. It's a lot of fun. And it's just nice having a homage watch that's not an homage to a Rolex or a Tudor or an Omega. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Pagani Design PD-1617. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with another unboxing or review. Bye.